big mindset shift in the last 18 months. I don't believe in bad days anymore. There's no such thing as a bad day. There's bad moments within a day. And even then, they're changeable at any moment in time. Now, of course, to anybody watching me, it's easier said than done. This is a thing like a muscle. If you go to the gym or if you work out or if you do anything physical, you know, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It sucks when you're first getting into it, right? When I got onto my fitness journey 3 years ago, I was like a little T-Rex walking around sore all the time. Now I can go to the gym 6 days a week, no problem, but I'm consistent with it, right? I'm consistent with my diet. But again, just think about what it is that you want. Nobody cares that your life is sucking right now. It's harsh to say. No one cares. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't care that much. You shouldn't. You should figure out, well, I don't have what I want, but how can I have what I want? Who has what I want? How can I go get that? And when you identify that person, like I did early on in my career, like I still do to this day, how can I pour massive amount of value into that individual? I don't care how. It might not be monetary. People who have money, typically speaking, they're not looking for more of it. Of course, they want to make more money, but you're not going to change their life by being like, hey, I can make you a lot more money. They're going to be like, all right, great. You and 10 other guys, right?
Exactly.
That's not the point. Find what that person values. Find what that person can identify with and then add it. That's how you get a relationship. That's, you have to really give, and then give some more. And then the universe returns it, in 100x, fold. But I think when people do that, I had a student who, he's amazing. He approached me just the same way that Dimitri, I think it was, approached you, right? I spoke at an event over a year ago, got off stage, boom, he was right in my face. And he's, a young guy, 25 at the time. And he's like, hey man, how are you? And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And, we're talking and, I'm like, all right, you're in my face now. And the guy's just like, he's like, look, man, I don't have the money for the mentorship. However, I do have this deal and I've heard all your podcasts and I want to add value to you. Could you take a look at the deal and maybe we can work something out? And I said, okay, cool. Let's talk tomorrow. Look, fast forward just to get to the meat and potatoes here for everybody. That kid and I ended up working together for a year. He ended up making 7 figures in his wholesale business. He ended up getting out of $200,000 in debt from a prior business. And that one deal made me 120 grand and made him a considerable amount of money. But more importantly than money, he earned my time, my respect, and my attention forever, virtually. We still talk. I still help him on deals where he needs to, but he's pretty self-sufficient now. And he comes from a single mom. I mean, the story was very similar. First generation Q, all these things. But the kid did it the right way. And people look at him now and they're like, oh man, he crushed it. And I'm like, because he wanted to. And he listened to everything I said. He didn't stop. He didn't ask, is it left? Is it right? He just went and he was bought in. And also he started by leading with value, which is the most important thing. He led with value. He didn't say, hey, could I pick your brain over coffee? He didn't say that because he was never going to get my attention. And by the way, anyone who's listening, if there's someone that you perceive that you want a relationship with, for the love of Christ, don't ever ask them, could I pick your brain? Could I take you to coffee? It is 100,000% disrespectful of that person's time and it is disrespectful for yourself, and you're not going to make it anywhere with that kind of attitude.
If someone asks me that, my answer is a very standard answer. No, you may not. That's it. And then what they say next is going to determine whether we're ever going to talk again. I mean, you're right. It is disrespectful. May I pick your brain? Just think about that, folks. Think about how you'd react if somebody asked you that. It's like one thing you said, Will, and I want to give this to the audience. A lot of times people see people that are wealthy, they're successful, people like Will, people like myself, and other successful individuals. And they're always trying to find like an angle of like, how do I work with them? Almost always, if you can put time back in that person's life, time is the single common denominator among all successful people. It's not money anymore. Like, you're not going to motivate me saying you're going to make me more money. I'm like, I already make millions of dollars. I already have all the things I want. Like, I don't have time to have you show me how you're going to make me more money. I already know how to do that. But if you can come to me and you can show me how you can buy my time back through your efforts, you've got my immediate attention. I am yours. I am Putty. I'm like Cash the cat right here. I am I want to know what you can do. How are you going to give me my time back? Because time is the single most precious resource we all have. Successful people just happen to really hone in on this because they understand its value. Because so many people, I call them the 95 percenters, they haven't valued time yet because they're so used to just trading time for money. So the value they put on their time is literally the amount that they get paid per hour. But the more successful you get, your time you can't put a value on it. There is no amount of money my time is worth. So you want to really hit a successful person where it matters. It's time 100% of the time.
100%, 100%. And, again, going back to the concept of time and all that, I'm making a series of videos right now in English and Spanish, which is a really simple exercise, but I'm actually documenting my life and how I value time and what I do with my time, right? And it's very simple. Take the last 12 months of your income, right? And whatever it is, doesn't really matter. Then boil it down to how many hours you worked. Could be round figures, but how many hours do you think you worked to get that money? And then divide it, right? And average out, okay, this is what my time is worth per hour. Let's say it's $200 an hour. Let's just say it's $200 an hour. Anything that falls below something that you can pay somebody else to do for less than $200 an hour, you are now going to delegate and outsource outside of family obligations and things that require you to be there, which you should be there too. But outside of that, everything. And what do I mean by this? A very simple example. I used to wash my car, not me, but I used to drive to a car wash, go there. It was 45 minutes, probably an hour with the commute and back and forth and sit there and all this stupid shit. And I used to be like, oh yeah, it's $30. It's great. And then one day I thought about it. I'm like, man, I'm averaging about $400 an hour right now based on last year. What the hell am I doing? Driving my own car to go get car washed, risking an accident and whatever the hell else, or traffic and all the anxiety and stopping everything I'm doing to go do that. What am I doing with my time? So now I have a guy pay $400 a month. He comes here once a week, takes my car out of the garage, does his thing, does my girlfriend's car too. And it's perfect. And my assistant handles, he's on auto pay, the whole thing, right? And I've done that, with cleaning people for my house, which I'm very grateful for. Laundry. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Travel. Again, I don't travel if it's not first class. It's not because I'm arrogant. It's not because I'm a dick. It's because I don't want to sit in coach and listen to the bullshit that people in coach talk about. Well, we don't have a free blanket. Well, we used to get free drinks. I don't give a shit about that. I'd rather ride in first class, maybe meet a guy like Chris, talk about, hey, what do you do? Hey, what do you do? Well, clearly you value your time. If you paid $1,500 for this seat, you value your time because you're boarding priority. You value your time because you don't have to check in a goddamn bag. You value it because it's a free bag and you don't get hassled. So you obviously do something that I may be interested in. I've met lenders on planes. I'm just talking, older guys, and they're like, hey, I see you wearing a Rolex. I'm wearing a Rolex. We're talking now. Blah, 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 blah. What do you do? Oh, that's great. That's real estate. Oh, that's awesome. Always wanted to, get into real estate. Oh, that's great. Well, yeah, I retired. I got an IRA with $3 million. Not really doing anything with it. I mean, what a great opportunity, right? So success leaves clues. If you value your time and you start actually, and it's uncomfortable at first, the mastermind concept is a really great way to look at it. The first time I joined a mastermind, it was 30 grand a year. I almost shit my pants because I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm about to pay $30,000 a year to be in a room a couple times a year with people. But then you get there and you realize you're like, oh, I'm not paying for the people that are in the room. I'm really paying for the people that are not in the room.
Yep.
That aren't valuing that time. So when you do that, man, I mean, I couldn't tell you, man, I've been a part of masterminds now for over 5 years. My greatest relationships, friendships, business opportunities have all come out of masterminds because we're all there for a common goal. And of course, you have idiots everywhere. But again, for the majority, you just have a common mindset goal. I know you're valuing your time. I know you're obviously doing well enough if you're paying 50, 60 grand for education. And again, I have budgets for a lot of things. I don't have a budget for education. Self-growth, I have elasticity infinitely for that budget. Because I don't think you could ever get enough. And the biggest the biggest jumps in my life, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever, have been because of exposing myself to different environments like Tony Robbins, like masterminds, experiences. Those things will change your life forever and the people you meet.
I love it, man. And Steve Harvey says it best regarding first class. Once you upgrade your life, why would you ever go back down? And I'm sure you get it with your family, but we'll be talking to my family and they're like, wait, you have somebody that comes in and just you pay just to be at your house and do whatever you don't want to do, whether it's cleaning or, we have a cleaner too, but then they have somebody. Yeah. Why? Like that stuff you could do yourself. You don't value your time. Like, and it's always the same thing. And you just sort of have to just kind of brush it off because they're not going to understand it ever. Why don't you mow your own lawn? Will you pay somebody how much to do that? How come you didn't weed the landscaping in your office? Why did you pay somebody that? Like, it's beautiful outside. You could have done it yourself. You don't understand. You don't value your time, but don't try to help people understand their journey's their journey. They'll figure it out, or maybe they won't. Every single one of us have to be on our own journey, chasing our own goals and dreams. And so many people that you'll come across throughout your life will be what we call the people that conform, the 95%, because they just conform to what other people say they should do. And they don't even know why they conform to that.